A Giants podcast for Giants fans
by Giants fans.
From the offseason through the wins and the losses, it's time to take one Giant step.
Welcome into One Giant Step, a debilitating, devastating loss at the hands of the New Orleans Saints down in New Orleans, 26-14, the final score, as the Giants fall to 1-4, a game that Bryce and I, as we looked at the gambling lines here on One Giant Step, were kind of sniffing out ahead of time that something don't smell right. Still led to, I believe, both of us picking the Giants to win the game, although I think if you listen to our preview pod, which you should, download and subscribe to One Giant Step, everywhere podcasts are available, you should download and subscribe because we were kind of, something's off about this game, and something, in fact, was off. So, Bryce, we're going to break it all down here. Offensively, what went wrong? Defensively, what went wrong? Fundamentally, what went wrong? But I think the basis of this game for me is two things. Number one, as the great Tiki Barber said, rookies suck. Jackson Dart and Cam Scadaboo, each with those fumbles, was absolutely brutal to this team. But I lean on this team has already lost the game due to the kicker situation. Now, it wasn't fully why they lost, but set them back in playing a different element of football versus the Chiefs with the kicker situation. Their lack of understanding how bad their wide receiver room is and their lack of understanding what Darius Slayton is, I think, is at the forefront of why the New York Giants lost the game to the New Orleans Saints on Sunday afternoon.
Shaun, it's inexcusable what we witnessed in New Orleans today. The idea that the Giants finished the game with 6 straight turnovers, if you count the turnover on downs, 6 straight turnovers. Those are their last 6 drives. Their last point, Shaun, came with 13 minutes left in the second quarter. They didn't score over 43 minutes of game time. And I'd like to sit here. I'd like to give you, first off, I mean, we're recording. I'm going to put this out immediately, but the Yankees just got their asses beaten.
Oh, they suck too.
It's not just that. It's not just that. There is like a cumulative amount of stress, I guess you could say, I've been through today. But the Giants, again, inexcusable. That's what I'll come back to. And it's there were like 1 or 2 positives that I'd like to get to at some point. I don't want this to be all negative, but Shaun, the negatives completely outweighed the positives. It wasn't.
Yeah, and by the way, I'm going to sprinkle in a couple positives too at the end of the pod, but I'm with you. The negatives outweigh. Okay, can I just start here because I just thought you said something subtly funny, but it's so true. I have no scientific evidence that something that happens in New Orleans, Louisiana, leads to something that happens in Toronto, Canada. Like nothing scientifically will back me up. But man, the Giants losing that game at 1:00, where there are a lot. And if you are one of these Mets Giants fans, by the way, welcome in to One Giant Step. I'm not trying to, kind of put you out there, but the Yankee Giant fan who sat down today, or at least dreamed up a day where, man, the Giants are playing the Saints. That game's going to end right about 4:00. It's going to bleed right into a Yankee game where Max Fried's pitching versus the Toronto Blue Jays. This could be a really awesome Sunday.
Yeah.
And science tells me that the Giants losing the way they did directly led to Max Fried imploding and the Blue Jays beating up the Yankees big time in that game. Well, I just knew from the moment the first pitch happened, I had such a sour puss on my face.
Yeah.
Such a disastrous look on my face where I was like, I can't believe that just happened with the Giants. That I couldn't even – you know when you get excited to watch a playoff game? I couldn't get excited to watch the Yankees, and then immediately they're losing, and it just felt like the whole negative energy of what was going on with the Giants bled right into the Yankees today. So I don't know if you're as nuts as me and you felt that way.
Well, the game literally ended like 30 seconds before the Yankees game started. Like the game was ending at like 4:07. I'm like, I'm turning this off. I'm turning on the Yankee game. I finally did. I was not excited. I wasn't excited for other reasons. It wasn't just the idea that the Giants got blown out. Yeah, that sucked. But like, I wasn't really feeling the Yankees. I told my friends, I'm like, Max Fried is about to absolutely blow, and he did. Listen, I'm happy that I was right, but the Giants game just made it a lot harder. And then all that compounded by the end of that Yankees game, and I had to leave. I had to leave my apartment. I'm like, I need to go on a walk. I need to get the hell out of here. I need to go out into the wild. And I need to enjoy my surroundings because I just witnessed a top 3 worst sports day of my life. Not hyperbole. And I don't want to dwell on the Yankees. This is a Giants podcast. When you think back, like I feel like there was a day last year The Knicks, if you know me, that's my number one. Maybe they lost I don't know, but today just it sucked.
Today sucked. I think today sucked because I was also looking forward to today. If that makes any sense, you know what I mean? Like,
dude, you have your team. Your team is down 1-0, and your football team is playing on paper their easiest game on the schedule.
Right. I'm well versed in bad days and certainly bad Sundays with the Giants, and also I think the spacing out, right? We never get 4:00 Sunday Yankee playoff games. We got it right after the Giants game.
Dude, it was 5
usually
straight hours of belt to ass. Yeah, 5 straight hours.
That's a great way to put it. Bryce, it's a great way to put it because usually, and again, we've lived through it, you Giant fans listen and get it. Like usually when you have either the Yankees or the Mets play a playoff game, for the most part, you get that breathing room after a bad Giant loss of like maybe the game's at 8:00 at night, right? Sometimes they run simultaneous for a couple of these organizations. Like we've played primetime games up against each other. But I don't remember ever having a 1:00 Giants bleed right into a 4:00 Yankees playoff game. I tried to think of it going in. I don't remember having one. And having it happen today and thinking, I woke up today as nervous as I always am about both scenarios, but really deep down going, you know what? Both teams are going to find a way to get it done. That was kind of my thought. I said, and I really thought it wouldn't be easy. Both teams to find a way to get it done. And to have it go, how did you put it? Belt to ass?
Belt to ass, yes. 5 hours. Yes.
5 hours. It was brutal, man. It absolutely sucked. And you're right. So now we're going to focus back on the Giant part of this here to get going. All right. The idea that this team, for the first time in 5 years, scored touchdowns. That was an unbelievable stat. I don't know if you picked that up on the broadcast. First time in 5 years, the Giants have scored touchdowns on each of their first 2 drives in a game. Each of their first 2 drives. And then didn't score again the rest of the game is so beyond mad. Now, when you say 5 straight turnovers, because that's what they had, the Giants, what was the first time that they've done?
Dude. I think 5. Yeah. Last 6 drives ended in turnovers if you count the turnover on downs, which
right. But the actual physical, like turning the ball over to the Saints 5 straight times, and I forget what the stat was, how long it's been. That's maddening. And if you just read that stat, it's going to drive you nuts. But I think we should go a little more in depth on exactly what happened there, because either way, it's not good. But I'm not looking at this from a prism of, can you believe they turned the ball over 5 straight times? I am really highlighting the 3 fumbles to me, because I think those are the big ones. Because as we get to the 2 interceptions later on, the game is late. Jackson Dart with a terrible, just a dog shit of a wide receiver room today is trying to make something happen. I'm not telling you I want the guy to throw 2 interceptions, but like, you know what, dude, you're trying to make a play with the ball. You're not eating it, taking a sack.
The second one, I don't count. I've never seen a wide receiver do less of a job in trying to break up an interception than Bo Collins did.
And the first one, do it on a 4th down. It's actually a good thing.
It was a punt.
It was a punt, right? So again, 2 interceptions is 2 interceptions. I'm not, if you're making this head like, oh, here comes Shaun being positive. That's not what I'm saying. What did the team in was the 3 fumbles more than the 2 interceptions, because you could almost make a case the 2 interceptions probably aren't in a position to happen without the 3 fumbles happening that set this game up in this motion to begin with. I think we can agree on that, right, Bryce? Like,
that Scadaboo fumble, that was like a 12-point swing.
12 points,
like
huge.
straight up 12. That's the game right there. If they punch it into the end zone and the Saints don't go 85 yards to score a touchdown, the Giants probably win the game.
So how
they won by 12. They won by 12. They win the game.
I'm going to rip off play by play how we got here and how the Giants went from scoring 14 points to nothing, and how you could just feel this was building with mistakes. First of all, with 14 points on the board, I believe the game is 14-3 at this point. It's a critical 2nd down, or we didn't realize it was critical at the time. Jackson Dart drops back, turns to his left, throws a ball to Devin Singletary that he flat out drops with plenty of space to run.
Wait. Can I just point this out?
Yeah.
That drive, 3 straight design plays for Devin Singletary. That's when the game went to you-know-what.
Because Scadaboo had been rolling. But again, you only have 2 running backs active on the roster. More on that with Dable in a little bit later. That drop starts, and now you're thinking to yourself, all right, you're still up 14-3, I believe it is at the time, whatever. They don't get the 3rd down. Jackson Dart's coming off the field for the first time and punting. And that was bad, and that sucked. I believe that's when he punted and not when they went. They went for it on 4th down to begin the second half, correct, with Wan'Dale Robinson? If I had to go back on
that. And there was another time it was 4th and 2 from like the 50-yard line that they should have went for.
Yes, I just want to make sure I'm getting these drives right. So that was brutal, okay? Saints come down. They end up kicking a field goal. I believe it's 14-6 at this time. The next play that does them in, beyond, by the way, an earlier drop by Darius Slayton, which, Jackson Dart lays out in front of him and he doesn't haul it in, which we've seen a million times. The flea flicker. This was the one where they punted on fourth down because third down they didn't get it. That ball has to be out in front of Slayton more, no doubt about it. I don't think it's a great throw by Dart, but it's still a play that Darius Slayton needs to come back and make as a guy who's a captain on the team. Dude, he got two hands on the ball. Here's why he's got to make it. And this is where I'm going to start losing my shit on Darius Slayton. Darius Slayton went above and beyond a couple weeks ago to get angry when people brought up how much better the Giant offense is with Malik Neighbors as number one wide receiver. If you didn't see this on Twitter, go look it up. He basically had a problem with the guy, the entertainer, who does Giants content creation and said, you're making it out like this wide receiver room's been bad. Well, Darius, you've been a big part of the reason why. You have been a guy who's been through bad quarterback play, and you've said all the right things. I don't think you're a bad guy, but this is just showing why you're not a great wide receiver. You have so many drops. We take you back to that playoff game, the Thursday night game versus Washington. It's not up to a quarterback to just give you every simple, perfect pass. Make a play. Yeah, that play's got to be out in front of you. You got both hands on the ball. Make a play. And we are excusing it, and you just did the Bryce, and I don't blame you for doing it. You're doing that because your expectations, you don't even realize, are so low for Darius Slayton that you're just accepting that when he has to come back for a ball, he shouldn't make the play. Make the play. Dart has to make a better throw. Make a play for your rookie quarterback. He doesn't. It ruins the game right then and there. Now, they get the ball back again. Okay, I think Shaheed scores at this point. Now it's 14-13, doing the whole thing. Now we're getting towards the end of the first half. That fumble, which was the first of three straight fumbles for the New York Giants offense, is so... is this just going to be a curse podcast? So fucking terrible, it's not even funny. Because they are basically driving into the red zone. Even if the Giants escape there with 3 points and just put 3 up and soften everything out and calm everything down and get to the locker room with 17 points on the board and extend that lead to 17-13, everything about this game and what happens after changes. The way they call offense changes, the way everything changes. They gave it all back, took points, and it started to be panic from there. And it's set just in motion. And this was now the third bad play by Darius Slayton. So I'll let you respond to that in a second. Boom, we have that. Now the Dart fumble. That's atrocious. Cannot happen. And if I'm going to wave the pom-poms for Dart, whatever. But here's where I'm willing to give the benefit of the doubt. If you watch the New York Giants play football today, Bryce, and we did, God willing, we did. Jackson Dart slid a lot more with running the football today, okay? Now, why am I tying this into the fumble? That told me that a young rookie quarterback knew where he messed up last week, knew what had to be drilled home to him, and he corrected mistakes from a week ago. I can't have him fumble that football, but he knows right away he can't fumble that football. He knows right away where he made a mistake. He's banging himself on the head or whatever. Part of what sucks about having a rookie quarterback play is you have to live with rookie mistakes. Because the only way a quarterback eventually becomes a franchise quarterback is, they make a couple mistakes in their rookie year and they learn from it. I don't believe that Jackson Dart is going to fumble a ball now. He'll fumble again in his career, but that atrociously again because he's going to understand ball security. So that can't happen. But I also understand that rookie told me this week, he already learned what he did the week before and corrected it. He'll correct it. Cam Scadaboo's fumble now the next drive. It's backbreaking. It's killer. You're driving in the end zone. I, again, am willing to give Cam Scadaboo the benefit of the doubt and knowing every time this guy touches the ball, he's putting everything on the line. He's nuts. He runs hard. He catches passes. And he took immediately to Twitter after the game to tell Giant fans, I need to be better. Yep. I respect the hell out of that. Now, look, if this becomes an issue and Cam Scadaboo is fumbling the ball 17 times in a season, am I going to lose my mind? Yeah, you lose leash after a while. Same thing with Jackson Dart. For both of those guys to have truly their first fumbles in their career today, I'm willing to look the other way because they're rookies. What I'm not willing to look the other way on is Darius Slayton in year 7, after he signs that contract and after he's chirping about how much better this Giants receiver room is, and with a guy whose ball security has been an issue his entire fucking career, okay? Darius Slayton lost this football game for the fucking New York Giants today. No ends and buts about it. You want to tell me it's Jackson Dart? You want to tell me it's the defense not getting to Spencer Rattler with 2 whatever seconds to throw? You want to tell me it's Tyler Newman taking bad freaking route? You want to tell me all that? I'll live with all of it. They all suck today. But above everything else, this team wins the game if Darius Slayton hangs onto a fucking football, and he didn't fucking do it. I'm sorry.
You have to apologize. They don't have to apologize because you are representing the majority of Giants fans who watch today's game. And Shaun, I think it's going to be very clear that everyone's least favorite player is Darius Slayton. Like, as time goes on and we realize just how bad the Giants receiving room is, the fact the Giants gave him $12 million, $36 million guaranteed. This guy who drops the ball, who fumbles, Shaun, I know you gave him a little flack there for not coming back and catching them. That was a terrible throw from Jackson Dart.
It was
20% on Slayton.
A wide receiver's got to help.
Come on. I mean, I think that's 80-20 on Dart versus Slayton. Slayton could make the catch, and it would obviously, it would redeem Jackson Dart for making a terrible throw, but whatever. I digress.
If it's not perfect, Slayton can't catch it. That's an issue as a wide receiver. That's my point.
Okay. I mean, that's a valid argument. We agree to disagree that that's not important. What's important here is the idea the Giants went into this game. We heard earlier on in the week that the Giants are looking inward in terms of receiving help. So they went into this game knowingly with Darius Slayton as the number one wide receiver, and that's what happens. This isn't just on Darius Slayton. This is on the Giants organization for trusting Darius Slayton. This is on the Giants organization for giving Darius Slayton $12 million United States dollars a year. $12 million a year. And we've been back and forth on this a million times. The idea that Saquon, the Giants offered Saquon $10 million a year. Saquon ends up taking an amount similar to what Darius Slayton got with the Giants. Do I think that Saquon Barkley should have been brought back? No, but it's pretty telling where Joe Shane's priorities lay when his wide receiver one now he did give $12 million a year. Shaun, I wouldn't entirely put this game on Darius Slayton, though. I mean, the Dart fumble entirely. The Dart, you kind of did, but it's okay. The Dart fumble is unacceptable. The fact that he wasn't touched and fumbled that, I don't think I can't remember the last time that I saw an NFL player lose the ball without anyone touching it. And again, he's a rookie. He's going to learn. I get that. No. That's a sign of things. Scatterbo, you saw Scatterbo on the bench after he fumbled. Like, you could see that it really took the life out of him. And he's going to remember that, put a pin in that, as you like to say. He's going to put a pin in it, and he is going to make sure that he holds on to the ball. Jackson Dart's in. But the Darius Slayton stuff is just pathetic. And then we could get to the two Dart interceptions. I kind of touched on this earlier. Bo Collins, what the hell is he doing? Well, what are you doing? Like, the ball is clearly about to get picked off. You're not even going to go after it? You're going to stand there and not go after that when every one of their mothers knows that's about to get picked off. And there was another play earlier on in the game, maybe later, I don't exactly know when, but Jackson Dart tries to get the first down, ends up getting it. Bo Collins doesn't block for him. Bo Collins is 3 feet away, head in the clouds. Like, this is the Giants' third wide receiver, Bo Collins or Jalen Hyatt. Jalen Hyatt, who had an extremely catchable ball on the left sideline, turns right, doesn't even make a play for it.
He sucks.
These are the two Giants' third wide receiver. It's not good enough, Shaun.
This is where the word organization or the words organizational failure come into play. Clearly, you're going to be an offense that is much worse than without Malik Neighbors. Like, clearly, right? He's that good a player. Malik Neighbors fights back for that football in the Hail Mary. Malik Neighbors, the drops he's had in his career, he's catching one of those two balls that Slayton has. Malik Neighbors isn't, dealing with the Bo Collins stuff. But this is organizationally, like, the Giants not elevating little Jordan Humphrey, who, by the way, I'm not telling you is Jerry Rice, but he had a rapport with Jackson Dart and kind of playing we can only get 3 elevations before it's on the active roster, and we're worried about when we're going to have to spend that money that we very little have. This was a financial decision made by the New York Giants today in trying to get by in a week with 12 personnel with the tight ends versus the New Orleans Saints and get by without having to start using the 3 elevations for Humphrey before they have to sign him the active roster. That's all this was. And it came back to haunt them. This team's unwillingness to admit failure with Jalen Hyatt as a third-round pick, and then piggybacking that by, I'm okay with Bo Collins making the team as an undrafted rookie. He gives you stuff on special teams, but you can't have both Bo Collins and Jalen Hyatt be your answers next on the depth chart. To me, it's got to be one or the other where you bring in a veteran presence. And if the answer is Bo Collins because Jalen Hyatt offers you nothing on special teams, then that's the answer, and you cut bait with a third-round pick and you get somebody else out there. I thought Jalen Hyatt, in a long list of embarrassments on Sunday in New Orleans, completely embarrassed himself as a professional NFL wide receiver with his routes down the side. What did they try throwing the ball to him 3 different times? For a guy who's, by the way, supposed to be a one-trick pony, it wasn't like he was getting by a defender by any means.
Yeah.
And all Jackson Dart could do is just kind of throw it up and hope it's a 50-50 ball, and there's just zero play made by Jalen Hyatt at all. Now you want to tell me, like, all right, Jackson Dart, throw it a little deeper. And by the way, Jackson Dart's arm didn't look necessarily great on these deep balls today, but nonetheless, Jalen Hyatt, he's a complete zero. If that's the one thing he's good at, he's not even good at that. Why is he on this team? So get a veteran in here. They're they have to on Thursday night anyway with the Slayton injury, get little Jordan Humphrey here, but it can't stop there. Now you want to tell me Hodgins. For anybody who's arguing and wants to go, well, you're 1-4, Shaun. What does it really matter? Do you really want to spend money on a wide receiver? I think it does matter because while many might be throwing in the towels on wins and losses, and I don't blame you, Giant fans, and thanks for listening to One Giant Step. What matters to me is developing the quarterback. And does Bo Collins and Jalen Hyatt being 2 answers and your most reliable answer, Darius Slayton, I'm going to leave Wan'Dale Robinson out of this, dropping balls left and right. Does that seem like it's good for the development of a rookie quarterback to you? Because it doesn't for me. So even if that means you're not getting some kind of big name in a trade, and I'm not suggesting that by any means. You brought up Isaiah Hodgins. You knew Isaiah Hodgins had at least soft hands, was going to catch every ball, throw to him, run a decent route. He's not going to break away and run down the field for 40 yards. But, there's something to be said for that kind of player, for a rookie quarterback. Just to let them know, I mean, you need guys to make plays on footballs. You just can't have these easy drops and easy misses and easy layups. And Collins and Hyatt, it's an organizational failure that ranks right up there with their kicker manipulation. I mean, it's inexcusable.
Yeah, I mean, it's incompetence to the nth degree, right? It's an organizational failure from top to bottom. This isn't just the quarterback. It's just the head coach. It's not just the GM. It starts from the owner and goes all the way down. And it's why we continue to sit here every Sunday for the last 10 years feeling exactly like this. It's the dejection. I use this word a lot, Shaun, and I wish I didn't have to, but there's just always dejection when it comes to this team.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna get into a couple. I want to say one positive thing because it's been 22 straight minutes of negativity. Darius Alexander looked good in this game.
Okay, so you want to start the positives? He
looked good. I mean, he made a good tackle for loss. He should have had a sack. He ended up hitting Rattler on the play that should have been a pick. And oh, wait, no, we're not done. We're not done with the negative. Why is Deonte Banks playing football for the New York Giants? Why is he on the field? He's on the field on third downs? What are we doing? This has been tried and true over and over and over again. The guy sucks. He's not a good NFL player. Trade him, bench him. I don't care. He should not be playing for the New York Giants, especially on third down, Shaun. The defensive pass interference, that's a game changer. That's a pick nullified because of a stupid-ass pass interference on an uncatchable ball. There was no need for that in that spot. And he commits that penalty, and I'm just like, wait, who did that? He said, I obviously didn't see it. It wasn't, it wasn't obvious on first glance. And then I hear number 2. I'm like, dude, it's like death taxes this guy sucking. It's between him and Jalen Hyatt, it's what a disaster of a 2023 draft for Joe Shane.
Except Deonte Banks might be a very good kick returner.
Okay, fine. Yeah, keep him on special teams.
Might be a good kick returner. No, he stinks, dude. It's just another one of these guys that you're throwing out there because you put draft capital on him, and he stinks. Like we're gonna do. God, I hope we don't have to do this now, but we'll eventually get to the offseason stuff at the end of the year, and cornerback is gonna be right there, man. Right? I mean, it just is.
They need a number 1 cornerback.
Tyler Newman
stinks.
Terrible. He stinks. There's like caution tape. Hey, 2nd round pick, give him a chance. I've cut the tape. The guy stinks. And I'm already starting to think maybe Dane Belton should get some snaps. I mean, that play with Shaheed was just terrible. Shane Bowen stinks too. But to your point on the positives, we can do the positives. By the way, 2.6, I think was the seconds to throw. Saints designed a game plan to keep the pass rush off kilter. Still, you got to find a way to get a sack. Just a game the Giants didn't own in the trenches. You mentioned Darius Alexander. I'm a little annoyed because I wanted to bring this up on the preview pod, and of course I didn't, and I forgot, and I remembered like 15 minutes after we recorded. The last 2 weeks prior to this, Darius Alexander's snap share started to go up, and you just started to see 91 flash a little more. Watch the game, and you'd be like, oh, 91. And this was a guy that he looked not ready for the moment in the preseason, and I think because of all the buzz around Abdul Carter and Scadaboo and the way Marcus Bowe had played and obviously Jackson Dart, there was this sense when Darius Alexander, your third-round pick, wasn't making these plays in the preseason that, oof, is this going to be another one's bad third-round picks? Well, lo and behold, not everybody should be held to the same timeline and trajectory and all of that.
He is 25 years old as a rookie. He's older than me.
No, but the point is, but now we're kind of learning here by week 5. Maybe this isn't a full season, and we worry about year 2 for Alexander. He's starting to make plays, dude. And the Giants need that from the defensive tackle position in the worst way. And I do think that that's a positive. I think Jackson Dart making a couple mistakes in this game, as much as it lost the game, I think it's a positive because the guy just needs to continue to learn from stuff. And I think a little adversity for him now. You have to deal with it. Look, that was a fun first week. Okay, now short week. Go figure it out. Again, we'll get to that when we do the preview pod. I thought that was all right. Other than that, I don't have many other. The offensive line, I mean,
no,
that was the other thing.
Illuminor. How many?
Okay.
He had 2 holds in that second.
Illuminor.
Every time there was a hold, there was Illuminor.
Illuminor's penalties were bad, but I mean, Bryce, you know how many times I sat back today, and I think we got so used to and so beaten down by offensive line play. How many times did we see plays get blown up the last 10 years? We're right away like, oh, God, here comes the O-line.
Yeah.
Dude, Jackson Dart had time to bake cakes today, so much that he was patting the ball, and nobody, because these wide receivers stink, was getting open. Now, we're doing this without the benefit of all 22 at the time, and maybe there will be some things that he missed. But overall, I just want everybody to put that in your head in case you didn't notice in real time. Like, the Giants' offensive line was pass protecting today. Yeah, Illuminor had the penalties. There was time to make plays. No wide receiver is giving him anything to make a play, and then he took off and he had those couple runs. So I thought offensive line stock up.
Another positive.
What do you got?
Daniel Bellinger.
Yeah.
How about that?
Another guy we thought maybe, he was being casted off, written off, and now he's not.
Who would have thunk it? He actually can catch the ball.
And Theo Johnson has 2 touchdowns. So clearly the tight end game is going to work here with Dart. It just is.
He trusts his tight ends. He's a rookie quarterback. Yeah. That's what they tend to do. And Theo Johnson, if anyone on this team needs to boom, it's Theo Johnson on that offense. Yeah. If he becomes a top tight end, look at the offense. Like, it completely changed when Malik Neighbors comes back because you're looking at, your second wide receiver is Darius Slayton. Okay, that's not a problem anymore, considering the fact that your tight end 1 is one of the top tight ends in the league. I'm not saying that that's going to happen or it's possible, but I'm just saying the importance of that is obviously, massive.
I'll leave you with this as we begin to wrap one giant step. Today sucked. Like, there's no other way around it. They lost to the New Orleans Saints. I want to keep the ship steady here and telling Giant fans this. If you're frustrated with Brian Dable and Joe Shane, get in line. Long list of it. They're not going to make any in-season decisions anyway. This Giants season continues to be about the development about Jackson Dart. If you had dreams of going to the playoffs after winning last week, I'm sorry to break it to you. It's probably done once again with the loss to the Saints. But what matters for this team going forward, and that's why I care so much about the wide receiver play, that's why I care about the offensive line protection, is that whoever the coach may be next year, whoever the general manager may be next year, whether it is Joe Shane and Brian Dable again, which means really good things have happened this year, or whether it is a new regime, what is paramount for the New York Football Giants is Jackson Dart learning from mistakes, getting better each and every week, and figuring out this thing at a pro level so that when the 2026 season rolls around, I know nobody wants to think about 2026, we can answer ourselves a very important question. Okay, well, maybe we don't know what the coach is going to be like if it's a new coach. Maybe we don't know what new additions they make. But going into a year knowing that you have a quarterback that took his lumps, learned from him, grew from him, and we saw get incrementally better each week as a rookie and then is ready for year 2, is literally everything to the acceleration of how the New York Giants can get back to being close to a 10-win, 11-win type of franchise again. So that's what this is all about. Jackson Dart made some crucial mistakes today. He did not get help from guys that could have helped him out. We saw him learn from mistakes he made the week ago and correct them. How does he continue to correct those? That may sound boring to some of you, and that's fine, but I don't think it sounds boring to a lot of you if you're joining us for a Giant podcast. I think you're into the nuance of it. That, to me, is what the rest of the season continues to be about. I do believe the Giants are going to continue to win a couple games we did not expect them to win, and I do believe that they're going to have clunkers like this for different reasons where you're like, oh my God, I can't believe they just lost that game in that way. That's what the 2025 Giants are going to be, for better or for worse. And now you're setting up a gauntlet, and we're going to be with you on a short week to preview the Eagle game in probably 48 hours or so. You got Eagles, you got Broncos, you got Eagles. I'm here to tell you, my gut tells me they're gonna find a way to win one of those 3 games, and we're gonna be like, "Wow, how the hell did they do that?" And then the other 2 losses they have out of those, we're gonna go nuts and go, "How bad is this football team?"
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what I think the wave is gonna be. What does that mean win total wise? I don't know, man. Like, does that mean they win 5 games this year? Like, I can't tell you that. All I'm saying is they just beat the Chargers 2 weeks ago. We didn't see coming. They don't have Malik Neighbors. Now they lose to the Saints. It's just gonna be a year like that, but it's all about the development of the quarterback. I don't think that's a crazy thing to say.
I echo the sentiment, the idea that, if you don't think that's sexy, I understand. But the Giants might have their quarterback of the future. You look at the first 2 drives of this game, you look at the last game, there's competency. There's a guy who can get out and scramble and advance and move the ball, move the chains, like you see a lot of these best quarterbacks in the NFL doing. So you keep an eye on that, and hopefully the Giants can do enough to make the talent around him better in terms of his skill players. I think Tyrone Tracy coming back will be massive. The fact that you won't have Devin Singletary as your third down back, which Shaun is an unmitigated disaster. Guy can catch the ball, and that's your third down back. Tyrone Tracy, him being implemented into the passing game is something that I'm looking forward to. The defense is going to continue to eat. Kayvon's playing for a contract. There are a few other things. Maybe Dexter Lawrence is going to throw in the white flag. Like I'm starting to get concerned about him. His impact hasn't really been felt like it was last year. And I do think there are millions of double teams, and Kayvon and Brian Burns and Abdul Carter have kind of benefited off of that. But, there are a certain amount of things that you can look towards and be excited about, because I know it's very difficult, especially after a game like today, in having any sort of hope, because this has just been so constant over the years. But then it is.
It is. But we grind through. At Bryce Gelman on Twitter. At Shaun Morash on Twitter. Again, you're going to want to download and subscribe to the podcast, because it's a short week. So you're going to you got this recap pod we're throwing at you. We're going to quickly semblance a preview pod once the dust settles. We get an injury report. That'll probably be at some point recorded Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever. Look out for it Wednesday, I guess, as you lead to Thursday, or look out for it early Thursday. Whenever you consume the podcast, look for it around then. And then at some point, whether it's early Friday morning or late into the night, Thursday night, Bryce and I are going to crank out a reaction pod. And then I think for everybody's sanity, we'll be able to not enjoy Giants football next Sunday and just breathe some fresh air and maybe just do something else with our lives. I think that's kind of where we're headed, and away we go. Thank you, everybody, for taking one giant step with us.